The government puts a lot of efforts to the roads and infrastructure, making the roads very good, like always maintained, no potholes, even a small part just coming off the road. They'll be blocking that road and maintaining it, which makes it very good to use, to all commuters and people who are using it. Hello, karaoke friends and family. I just want to welcome you today to watch another video that we've prepared, and we are going to be looking at a myth. The title is, does living abroad make someone rich? This is a question that has been thrown around and questions and being asked about, and I would like us to discuss. I want to welcome you to join us and to make even your comments to make it a discussion, because when I was looking even at the dictionary, I was looking at the meaning of the word rich, whereby rich, I'm going to read to try and get all the words. Rich means having great deal of money or asset or plentiful or just abundance of wealth. That is what rich means. So when we ask ourselves, does one living abroad make them rich? That is away from your original home where you are. And today we are going to have this video into two parts. Part one, we are going to be discussing the advantages, the goodness, the things that are good that help us to be looking at it. So we will be looking at it from the point of what are the advantages of you living abroad, and what can you say helps you to look at the richness, at the wealthiest part of you being abroad. So number one, when you live abroad, we'll be looking at it from infrastructure and roads, whereby you find, like here in the UK, having come from Kenya, here in the UK, you'll find roads are very well maintained. Actually, the government puts a lot of efforts to the roads and infrastructure, making the roads very good, like always maintained, no potholes, even a small part just coming off the road. They'll be blocking that road and maintaining it, which makes it very good to use, to all commuters and people who are using it. So we'll be looking at how the roads are maintained. They are tarmacked. We have the good environment around the surrounding the roads, so very well maintained. Another thing that we can compare and look at the goodness of you being abroad that makes the place very different, it is effectiveness and efficiency of transportation. And when I look at transportation, I'm looking at the train transportation, whereby you look at the train, the railway lines are well maintained. Actually, like most of the weekends, you'll find maybe they're blocking the railway lines and just maintaining them in case there are any maintenance that is needed. And the trains are really on spot on, and they cut across the country, many places, even the interior ones from the main cities into the way into the countryside. The trains are very well maintained, and the timeliness of the hours, let me tell you, when you have a train to catch, you run as if you're running to the airport because it's very timely. It won't wait for you. If it's 7:05, it will be there at 7:05 and you'll be left. You have to wait for the next train. So the transportation is very efficient. How about the roads? Maybe the buses. The buses are also very effective and well timed. You'll find, like, for example, if it is like every 20 minutes, that's what it means. You can even leave your house, time yourself. If you're leaving your house to go to the bus stop, it takes maybe 5 minutes. Exactly that. You'll go to the bus stop within 5 minutes. Sometimes it might come maybe 2 minutes early or 2 minutes later, but most of the time it's 2 minutes early. For example, weekends, because it doesn't have a lot of stops to be dropping people who could ideally over weekdays be going to work, you'll find weekends maybe the buses come 2-3 minutes earlier, but really not over speeding. That is something that I've seen in this country. Like, for example, here in the UK, they take keen of that, and driving offenses are very, very bad for you to be caught with, because they even affect your credibility in this country. It is like driving when you're drunk. So they put a lot of effort to maintain good transportation. Overspeeding, they really take care of, whichever road, if you're supposed to maintain it at 60 kilometers per hour, you'd rather so. And even buses, they keep on checking onto what bus stop they were supposed to be there at what time, which makes, to me, it makes it very effective and efficient. So even for example, like taxis, for you to operate a taxi, most probably you need to be registered in a certain taxi company, meaning that your taxi will be known by number, by registration, by the driver. In case of anything happens between you and a customer, by the way, it's two ways. Like a customer cannot even harm you as a driver of the taxi, and also as a taxi driver, you cannot also harm the client, because there's a point that you'll have picked them. The system will be showing them you pick them, for example, from their house or from a supermarket. So you need to be careful by the time you're dropping them. It's seen you've not done anything. If they report you, it's easy to track you down. So it makes the taxis, even at night, very effective, very reliable, and very efficient, because you need, maybe you have an app to call them, or maybe you can make a direct call and book for your cab. So all these records are there to maintain. Hey, do you have experiences with such where you come from in your country? Let us hear what you have. Make your comment. Okay, so we go to another point that I thought about is most of the communities, most of the buildings, we have a lot of inbuilt cameras. You know, the CCTVs, they are there. They increase to the securities of this country, because you'll find if you're in a building and anything happens, for example, someone has even picked maybe something from your bag, or even from a supermarket you're buying and you lost something, it's easy to be found. And I've realized also something I can say, there's also a lot of difference that I've seen on that area. It is rare for you to just put something like in a train station and then it gets lost or it's stolen. Most of the time, it will be taken to the office as a lost item. And most probably when you go back, they'll come and look for it. As a story I've given in another video, I know I'm going to repeat it. I remember once I was traveling like from a place I had gone for exams. So I had my laptop and many things. I left it in a train station and went to like 4 stations away actually. By the time I remembered I had left my laptop bag, I stopped, I went to the train station and they said, no, don't worry, go back to that train station. And I went for free. I took the train going back. I went 4 train stations way back. And I found my bag had been picked by someone, and it's a very busy train station. Had been picked by someone, took it to the office, and they just asked me what was in the bag, my documents, my maybe name, and any cards that were there. And I was given back my bag. I'm not saying it's an everyday thing, but I realized I feel like it's more reliable and more secure. Maybe the culture here, and also because of the CCTVs, they help at least, not so bad. Yeah. Okay, another thing that I can say helps to feel living abroad is different and can easily make you feel the richness even of the place other than yourself, you know. It's the patriotism. The culture here, there's a lot of community policing and reporting. You'll find if you're living with someone in your compound that is not known what they do, or someone that you're suspecting them, I've realized the community here, they have a concern. If you're even seen picking people's things, or if you're drug peddling or whatever that you're doing, the communities here and the citizenship, they are used to a system where they can walk to any police station, which the police here are very friendly. Hey, by the way, you don't see the police here carrying guns. They just walk. They are very friendly. They mix with you, especially the community police, you know, they just come around. So you can even take yourself to the police station, report with ease. Say maybe you saw a stolen car in your compound, or you are suspecting something. I find that patriotism, even like, for example, the days, when we have like the days, maybe the national days or the historical points, the way they maintain them, the way they try to take care of them, you can see the patriotism, the wanting to be there. It's a very, very country that I've seen a lot of patriotism. They love for their country. They want to keep their environment also very green. Yeah. And that one now brings us to the point of environment. Environment, you realize, even when someone is walking their dog, when they walk their dogs with bags, they're carrying their bags for picking the poops, you know, when the dog defecates or makes a poo or stool on the grass or even on the pavement. They have small bags when you're walking your dog. They pick it And in very many different areas as they're walking the dog, you'll find we have the bins for dog waste. Imagine. And the discipline, you'll see even children. I believe it's because even when children are walking their dogs with their parents, there's this, when children watch, they become better than just listening. You'll see a parent picking it. You'll see even when the dog pulls, maybe opens its bowels or stool or defecates, a child will be the one picking that poo and putting into the bin. So it's an environment, they are very conscious of the environment. Papers, even when they're chewing a gum or something, they'll be quick to pick it and put into the bins. It keeps the environment very clean. Another thing is housing. Houses here, I find they've really worked on their houses. Most of the houses, actually, they have the white goods. Like when you go into a house, you'll find there's a cooker, there's a washing machine, most probably a dishwasher. So as you're paying for your housing, your tenant, your landlord has already put it into effect. Maybe there's a gas cooker if they're using gas, or maybe electric cooker, it will be there. And you'll be paying for it, they'll have made it. You'll be paying for it. But if you choose to go maybe to a house that they don't have that is still okay. You'll be going to a house that we don't have the cookers, you don't have those house goods, then you'll have to buy for yourself, and you have to be maintaining it yourself. But if it is your landlord who has put it there, the advantage I always find is probably when they go, when they get spoiled, you'll call the landlord. They have one person who is reliable, maybe who checks for them, be it even the switches, they'll be able to do that. That's the advantage of that. But the houses, they are well maintained. When you have something that has broken, you can call your landlord and be able to come and do for you. And it has to be appointment. When they want to come and check your house, it's an appointment basis. They give you some dates. You choose the date that you want them to come. They won't just barge in to come to your house. No, they'll have, I find they are very, they respect your privacy and where you are at. And also to rent, there's a lot of documentation, by the way. Where I come from, like Kenya, you can even be passing as you're looking around for a house, and you ask for a house as long as you have money, maybe your name and a few other details. But here, they'll want to know even your legal basis. They want your documents. They want your living, like your visa. They want so many details, where you're coming from, where you work, your salary, so much to know for you to be given a house. So the housing, even wherever you are, it makes it maybe more secure because of that kind of vetting. Yeah. So after the housing, we can also look at the hospitals, the healthcare. Healthcare, find it very reliable. And personally, being a nurse, I can tell the difference. You'll see that when you walk into, for example, a hospital, we have the public hospitals. Most of the public hospitals here are reliable. You'll walk there. The government is very interested to also be able to get nurses and doctors and healthcare professions that are enough for their people. They invest in the government hospitals. Many of countries in abroad, I've realized, for example, in a few countries in Africa, because I even talk with my friends who come from other countries. It doesn't have to be Kenya. I speak with my Nigerians, my Zambians, my Namibians, I have a few South Africans as well, Zambians. When I speak to them, you'll find many people try to work hard and put their monies for private hospitals, because the government hospitals sometimes, they are really not in good shape. They will not have enough medication or enough staff. But here it's the opposite. The government hospitals are well taken care of. Even when they have shortage of nurses or shortage of healthcare workers, you'll find them fronting forward, wanting to employ more. You'll see the goodwill of it. So they are good hospitals. That is one of the things. And even because we pay for the healthcare, and everybody is given using their the national hospitals number. You are given, everybody has their number, so it will be easy to know who has that number and who is being treated, and insurance numbers and all that. It's a very workable healthcare. The other point I think about is education. Also, public universities have given a position whereby, as long as you're qualified as a citizen, you just need to apply and you'll be equally treated. You will be given a grant by the government. And this grant, for example, maybe £10,000, however you're given, it's easily paid for you. When you finish and you get a job, you can spread it out to pay into 25 years. So it means you'll be paying minimal, you won't feel it. Though some people prefer to pay it and maybe upfront, not upfront, before the 25 years or 30 years, depending on how many years you've been given, and to wait until you finish to pay. But some people prefer, okay, to pay slowly until then. But if you're a private, someone who does not have citizenship, you have to go to study privately. You will not have that luxury. You have to pay for the 10,000, and you'll have to pay that. And if you're given maybe any other grants, you could be given in a very different agreement and very different terms for you to pay back. But for the citizen, they get it cheaper and better. Okay, so when we look at it, we go to food. Food is also, I find it very affordable, because you can be able to go and get a sandwich, go and get some sausages, be able to get the food here in a very affordable way, which it helps you to plan for it and be able to at least eat. We even have food banks. You can imagine, if you don't have money, we have every local area. We have designated shops, designated outlets, whereby you can go and get food for free, whereby people take food there, excess food there, for people who cannot, the lowly placed in the society. They can go there, they get food, fruits, drinks, everything good. And even we have like charitable shops as well, whereby people take in their clothes that are still good, shoes, bags, everything. You can go and buy there very cheaply, maybe a very good item for maybe 30, 40, 50 pounds. You can find it there for even 5 pounds. So it helps people to be able to dress equally good. They won't walk in tatters or maybe not have food in their tummy to put. Then we have language. I find for people who are English speakers, for example, moving to the UK becomes very easy. Countries that they use English as their official language. For example, in Kenya, we use English as an official language. So if you're relocating to UK, it becomes very easy. Why? You don't need to do to come and study and start studying English. What they do is professionally, maybe part of a registration of your professionalism. For example, if you're coming to be a health worker, a doctor, a nurse, etc., they will test you, yes, when you're still back at home for an English test, just to see your proficiency and how well you are in speaking, in reading, in writing, and in speaking. And they will give a score. There's usually a CAT score that is given. If you're coming to join a spouse, you'll be given a test also that is not basically for you to just come and work, but it's just to show that you can communicate. So it becomes easier. Like imagine if you're French speaking, you're moving to an English speaking, or you're from an English speaking and you're moving to a French speaking country. I believe it's an uphill task and you have to try and learn more. Yeah, so that's one of the other advantages. Another advantage is, well, it's weather. You'll be able to experience the 4 seasons of weather. You'll be able to experience the winter, the spring, the summer, and the autumn, because most of the places we come from, if you're coming like from the tropical, maybe you only have rainy, the wet, and dry or such. But here it gives you an advantage for you to be able to experience these, all the other seasons. Yeah. Another thing that you will also experience, another advantage, which makes you enjoy and be able to enjoy this place. It's not about the money, as we are saying. It's not about the riches of the money. It's also the many communities that are here. The many different cultures. If you're in Kenya, you'll basically just know about Kenya or Uganda or Tanzania or Nigeria or Ghana. But when you relocate abroad, you will be able to see other cultures as well, because you find we are so many. You'll find a nation here. You'll find maybe someone from Romania. You'll find someone from Brazil, Spain, Portugal. You'll be able to learn many other cultures within just your working environment or maybe where you live. And you'll be able to integrate yourself and be able to see many other cultures that are there. So we look at the human rights as well. Human rights seem to be very functional in this country. Like if you harass anyone, be it harassment of racism, harassment of you beating a child or beating your wife, okay, even beating your husband, whatever it is that is against human rights, it is taken very seriously. And even a neighbor can go to report you, can even report you about your child. If you're abusing your child, if you're abusing your husband, if you're abusing your wife, they'll be able to report you and be able to take you to report you, and you'll face judgment, and not before judgment, you'll face the rule of law. You'll be taken to court. You'll have to mitigate for yourself because it's taken so serious. It doesn't matter who reports you, they'll investigate. And if you're found guilty, you will be jailed and you'll face the law of the land. And this one, it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter whether you're a doctor or a security guard, whoever it is, or a member of parliament. Law here cuts across. That is a governance that works, law that works. It even makes it enjoyable to see that it works against all people. Also, I find it, when it comes to fitness, they are very concerned about fitness. You know, this fitness includes, in every other local place, you'll find there's a park where people maybe are utilizing, they are going to play football. Children, they also have a place to, especially when the weather is good, like summer, like now. They'll be playing football, they'll be running around, they'll be maybe doing some gymnastics. They'll even be able to go and play football or something. And even in the morning, people who do morning runs or evening runs, they'll just be able to go there and do their evening runs. Even the gyms here, you know, they are charged in a price that I always feel it's very affordable. You can be able to just go there, register, and be going there maybe once a day or 3 times a week, depending on how someone wants to keep fit. So they're also concerned a lot about the fitness. So having looked at that, we also maybe cannot forget about the financing or loans. As long as your credit is clean, your credit score, you know, your borrowing habits, are you able to borrow and return monies when you're supposed to? You can borrow anything. The financing, there'll be car financing or car loan, there'll be phone loan, there'll be a house loan for mortgage. This is only determined by how creditworthy you are. What is your score? Are you the person who borrows money and you never returns? You will not, because your credit will be very bad. So keep on checking on that. And these are some of the things when I look at them. Hey, at Karaoke Moments, we love to hear your comments. We would like to welcome you. Please give us your comments. What are your comments, especially if you live abroad? Do you have any comments that you can be able to tell us? What do you call riches when you're abroad? Do you think that living abroad makes you rich? Let's hear your comments. If you haven't subscribed to Karaoke Moments, we want to welcome you to subscribe. Please subscribe, keep on sharing our videos and watch our videos and share with other people that they can make a karaoke community. We love you till we get to see you again. Bye for now. Thank you.